Hello, chat. Hope you all are well today. We are back. It is a new week. We are back on extraction, planting a lot more. I did a lot of planting over the weekend, so I'll show you all that update. Also, Antari, thank you for the resub now for 30 months. My goodness. A whole 30 months. That is crazy. But yes, almost 3 years. Almost 3 years. Yeah, chat. We are back. We're back on extraction. Back in the pale garden. I have been. Hold on, I put shaders on, and so shaders are gonna slowly. There we go. I've been slowly working on getting through most of this. So I will show you all that once I put this little bit down right here real quick. There we go. There we go. Oh. Some of this I need to actually go back through and like actually texture a little bit. I'm doing the music just a little bit more. There we go. Bup. All right, cool. So yeah, basically, chat. I have now done pretty much this section all the way up to here. I haven't gone all the way up this far yet, but I have done close. I just haven't gone all the way up to the mountain yet. But I've done all of this in here. You need to still do like this area right here. So hold on, let me. This is just an easy way to fill this in. There goes. Yeah, so I needed to fill all that in, but I've gone up from here. I've stopped right around the here because then I started like branching. So I need to fill this portion in here, but I did everything around the castle. So everything around, yeah, pretty much just a chill stream today. So everything around the castle on this side and over has all been placed with grass and moss and a bunch of different leaves. And it goes down here a little bit because Momo was already placed, so I kind of have been blending all this in as we started. So for the most part, we just need to kind of add in like leaves and that type of stuff to these like other areas. And then all of this was kind of here, so I've been blending this in. I saw some. And then it's pretty much done for the most part. I mean, it's not done. Like, we still have to do all this terraforming here, get all the leaves over to here. We gotta do all of this grass. The benefit is some of these spots already have, like, grass spots on them. So that makes our job easier, because that just means I can go on through where these are and just add a few places here and there. /time set night. There you go. Bit easier to spot out all the light sources and whatnot. Just because the pale trees. Yeah. But as you can see, we pretty much have covered most of this. We just need to go on through and like fill all the spots up to here. And then all the way down over to here. So. But yeah, other than that, it's been going good. It's been /times at noon. Ooh, shading on for noon is nice. Full. Am I using Solus? I believe. I'm using complementary. Okay. Yeah, no, other than that, it's been good so far. Yes, I know there's an update, but I'm not worrying about that right now. Leaf pushes. Kind of just needing to fill just space in with more. Oh yeah. With just more random leaf piles. Cool. Yeah, chat, what have y'all been up to? What have y'all been doing? Today, like I said, it's going to be a pretty chill stream. We're kind of just placing down a whole bunch of leaves and breaking a whole bunch of flowers. Because I want to get this done. Which means I need to just keep doing this until we're done. I would say it's about 60% of the way done. For the most part, it is just relatively easy to do. Just because of having like that half be all like lakes. Start working on art again. Nice. My drawing skills. Cool. Been EP from Time Change. Yeah, Time Change. Reminder for those that are new here. I always say my stream schedule starts at 7 p.m. UTC, I believe. Yeah, 7 p.m. UTC. So because that's universal time. So that way, if you're ever confused on daylight savings, just always type in when is 7 p.m. UTC to your time zone, and that would most likely be the time frame that I stream. It's the easiest way to do that, so. Trimmed your hair, vacuum and crocheted. Nice. I was just going to do this entire thing. It's just a massive thing of pale moss. Just on this entire mountainside with just gaps I don't have it. It's just going to be the easiest way for me to do this without worrying about filling stuff in. Because like there's this entire mountainside that I have to like fill in for, roughly. So, kind of just putting it all together. You watching Vampires SMP? Of course, nice. Stop digging in Minecraft. Moss spreads, yep. I'm not trying to cover the entire thing with moss, just kind of have like spaces where some of it's moss, some of it isn't, and then we can go back through and kind of just place the leaves and such around. Also, chat, I've been playing Marathon over the weekend. Very fun game. I don't know. Me, Lagundo, and Wade had just for some reason, my luck is better when I go in with nothing than actually having a full kit on me. Because tell me why me, Lagundo, and Wade run into one of the hardest, like the hardest quote unquote map in in Marathon so far with just free stuff, like $0 worth of value in our backpacks and such. And we come out there with a run of a total of $15,000 worth of items in our backpacks total. Like, we were just trying to do a mission just to like get a faction quest done, and then we saw like a convoy like spawned in, and we're like, do you want to go try to go for the convoy? And we're like, sure. And because of that, that convoy had a lot of stuff, and we were able to bank it all. So it was pretty nice. But you know, overall, very fun game. Very, very fun game to like play and vibe. But for now, though, it's good. Also, chat. By the way, other stuff that I'm gonna be doing, possibly tomorrow. Yeah, no, I think tomorrow is still going. Earlier stream tomorrow, about 2 hours sooner. Because we got a Blood on the Clocktower game that we'll be playing with some of the Vampire cast and friends. So for those who've been wanting it, we are playing it again. Bup, bup, bup. Yeah, that'd be fun. I think this will be my third Blood on the Clocktower stream. So it'll be fun to play it again. I'm gonna change the shaders a little bit. That's better. It's not as harsh of a light. May 4th one? Okay then. There we go. There we go. Now I just need to wake up. Yep. But, you know, it's gonna be fun. There's gonna be some people that you haven't seen in a while. Some people who are from the Vampire cast and some people who aren't Vampire cast. And I think some people's first time playing Blood on the Clocktower as well. So that'll be fun. Yeah, Blood on the Clocktower is basically a... not Among Us, because you don't really do anything other than just social deduction. But it's in that same category. There are some bad... It's almost like if you've ever played Mafia or Werewolf. It's closer to those type of games. Sounds good. Yeah, except everyone has a role. Cool. There we go. I think my least favorite thing about doing this that I've realized is I don't like going uphill. Because it takes a lot more time to figure out how to make it look good instead of just right-clicking bone meal on the floor. And so that's why I've just been placing moss everywhere. Oh, well, come on in, Raiders. How was y'all's baking stream? Hope you had a wonderful stream, May. Thank you for the raid. Who will join that is in the Vampires cast? Well, that's something that you'll have to find out. But it's going to be people that I think y'all will enjoy. Either first time playing a social deduction game and you're going to laugh a lot and it's going to be very funny. Overall, it'd be good, so... What time? 2 hours earlier than this stream started, so... I think it'd be like 5 p.m. UTC. Talking right now? No, just variety of stuff. Talking about building, Blood on the Clock Tower, that'll be happening tomorrow, and so on and so forth. So, kind of just a bunch of different stuff. As I continuously right-click... How much... Actually, I want to see something. So far, chat, I have used 3,515 bone meal. My goodness. Good thing we're in creative. Because if I had to do this in survival, I would hate it so much. Yeah, I just need to go this way across. Nope. I need to go across. I need to go up as well. Just what I mean. When you bone meal at like an angle, it sometimes doesn't. It only does like the layer on the same floor. Oh, Rusty's on. So like trying to get through all this is really annoying. MVT. Which one is it? Prefabs. Forgot what the second word was. Yeah, no, this in survival would take months. It'd basically this would be equivalent to a mega build. Like, this would be the equivalent to a mega build. Like, imagine building all these trees by hand, and then needing all the pale oak, all the pale leaves, all the bone meal, all the moss. Okay, the moss wouldn't be that difficult because that's just at least one moss. You just need one moss. Because at that point you can just right click and you're fine. But everything else, all the blackstone, all the deep slate. It would just be a lot. You'd also have to do this in a pale oak biome. That's the other thing. You would have to do this in a pale oak biome. Because of how the color of the leaves and the blocks in the moss look. So you'd have to find a biome big enough for this to then do this. Also, I'm adding like extra work on myself because I could just only bone meal and it wouldn't be that much of an issue. But I'm also breaking all the eye blossoms just so there's less color in this forest and there's less light at night. Like, it is entirely a me thing. But my goodness, is it something? Okay, that works. I kind of want to just bring this to like corner just around it and then bring this down a little bit. Just so it links back up that way. There we go. All right, so this entire back wall from here on over is now pretty much done. Like, we could add a little bit more here and there, but realistically, most people aren't going to be on this back wall because there's nothing here in the first place. So, like, this entire back wall from here up to there is now done, which is good. And then I can just bring this all the way across and over down to like there. Just have this entire back wall just be moss. A mix of both. Okay. Now, let me... It's like, I'll put one eye blossom here, just because it's dark enough, and I feel like that'd just be a cool little spot to have it. But, like, this is what I'm saying, just very faintly, just a few blocks here and there. The villain is determines the world of color. It's more like the villain is to make this place spooky in the middle of the night when it is midnight. The villain only wants to show sources of color just in few spots around the entirety of the map. That's what the goal is that you have little light sources that kind of just allow playstyle. Like that's what most of this is for. The funny you say literally abolish if he was a vampire. But it's ironic how you say if he was a vampire, he would be doing this. But if he was a human, he wouldn't. In the same way that as a human, he burnt down an entire forest to deal with vampires, but apparently as a vampire, he would plant a bunch of foliage around a massive area. Just goes full botanist. I haven't watched Vampires fully yet. Well, there you go. He wants the trees to grow. Gotta fix the environmental damages. That's good so far. And then, yep. I just don't want to do it. Honestly, I'm gonna do the hill last because I just cannot be bothered with it right now. I would much rather just fill in everything around. Close to the outer edges and then go from there. Guys, we're almost to the... Oh, what's it called? No, the satellite dish. And then we can stop at that point and then start connecting, going back the other direction. Up. Up. Yep, it's just slowly doing this over and over again. Oh, I gotta remove these. Replace them with ferns. And then also do this so no one gets stuck under here randomly. we go. Is adding an ace race to the island, or am I misreading the announcement? I think it's a new map for the next MCC. Sorry, little beat. You gotta go fly back to your home a different way. I think it is the Noxcrew MCC thing for March. I think it's a new Ace Race map. Because don't punch the bee. I wasn't trying to. I was trying to punch the flower. It's just the bee's hitbox got in the way. I think it's a lobby thing. Maybe. Not entirely sure. We can put some leaves that kind of just go up this way, and then we can have like some that are here, and then smaller little pile right here. There we go. Awesome. That works. Lycos, thank you for the sub for 4 months now. I appreciate that. Yeah, chat. Speaking of MCC and such, I was having this conversation with some friends the other day, and I was just talking about how I wish, not so much MCC, but like events in general, right? Events in the Minecraft scene right now, I wish organizers would take more time developing their like mini games that they make, and they make stuff that's different. And in the sense, I'm like, it's too low for us to hear, sir. Ah, I see what's happened. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Give me a second, chat. I'm trying to adjust. That should be better. You know, it's... Yeah, I know it's still too loud. I'm trying to adjust the volumes. Give me a sec. I'm also talking away from my mic. Yeah, music's at 35 dB now, so... It's just when it comes through my headphones, it's way louder than when it comes through stream. For some reason, stream makes the music quieter than what it needs to be. And so every time I switch over to see how it hears from your guys' sound, it sounds normal. But for some reason, it's quiet. And I don't know why. It just does that. because right now you're at like negative 40 to like 30 dB, but you guys are almost cranked to maximum volume on the music slider. No, I know music's fine now. It just doesn't make any sense. But anyways, though, what I was saying was for some reason, I don't know. I know it's because a lot of events are like entirely volunteer based and everything. But in my perspective and in my opinion, I feel like a lot of event organizers just need to like stop and go back into what their mini games are and like rethink a lot of different mini games and like put the time into making stuff that's like newer slash refreshing. Doesn't have to be entirely original. Like if you want to take a concept from something else and like change it a bit, sure, but like try adding new ideas and mechanics and twists and such to mini games. It may make sure it works. Yeah, that's another big thing. Because I don't know, like I've just been seeing a lot of events recently, and it's just like the same type of games, just reskinned in that regards, right? Like it's just reskinned, retextured, and I'm like, you could have just taken the time instead of making the 24th Sky Battle survival mini game that's on every other event, just slightly with a different twist. Like, here's the thing: with any video game, with any project, my biggest pet peeve for everyone that I was in or my friends were in that got delayed over a week due to general issues. A lot. Like, here's my thing: my biggest pet peeve is when someone has a project that they work on, right? And this is from a creator perspective. As a creator, whether you can take this logic into events, you can take this logic into SMPs or any project you do in a group setting. If you have an idea, whether it's an event, an SMP, whatever it may be, right? Make sure that event, that SMP, all of it, so on and so forth, has been fleshed out, thought of, tested. Doesn't need to be 100% complete, but enough to where you are then to a point where you can start inviting people to participate and join in said project. Because the amount of, hey, do you want to be part of this thing? And you go, yeah, sure. And they're like, great, awesome. And they invite all the creators to the project or SMP or event, and that thing isn't even fully done yet. Like, it's not even in like testing phase. Like, I would much rather see and have a random fact. Well, basically, this is the random fact. It's my annoyance as a creator when it comes to events and projects. Exactly, I'm planning this for my university, and the only reason I haven't probably sent out the emails because I don't have anything planned. No, yeah, like I would much rather, even if it's a video game, right? Like I'd much rather play a video game or like wait for a video game to be released if like the developer or the group or volunteers like, hey, we want this to feel good. We want this to be a good game, so we're going to push off on it for the time being until we are satisfied with what we are doing. And I think that's great. Now, don't delay the thing forever, because if you delay it forever, then people are going to get bored, because then they're going to not wait. That's the other thing. Don't invite creators to an event or like to an SMP or something, and then tell those creators, hey, we have to delay XYZ or push back the like release date of something because we aren't done with it yet. Because at that point, the hype and the excitement for what you presented is now being delayed. And now those creators are going to lose the excitement of what they were wanting to do. And I'm like, that kind of also makes the importance of a SMP and event good. And this is why I always give like props to POW, is because how Owen and Appo work on their SMPs and their projects is they understand about when to invite creators, when to have something planned out, when to like get things working, and it's great. Because the lead game for so long. Exactly. Like, I was excited for GTA 6, and I'm like, at this point, I'm gonna have to like really watch a trailer to see how it feels. Getting pushed back so much to the point where it was a running gag, yeah. But like when Silksong finally released, though, it did super well. So like those can be exceptions. Like you can have the exception of a game being pushed back long enough and it's still producing what it comes from. You do have to keep in mind also Silksong is an indie game, so it just depends. But like my other biggest like gripe, I say it's because it's still work in progress. Yeah, exactly. Like creators should like be like, hey, working on fun little projects. Hey, we're doing whatever, but don't fully say what it is, just because it's like you never know what's gonna happen. Something might happen that might get delayed, or it's not to the satisfactory that you're wanting it. And I think it's important to like have those delays and such. My other biggest thing for events that like annoys me so much to no end. Not every event needs to have a life system for mini games. Some mini games, sure, but not every mini game needs a life system. Like, I understand certain mini games need a life system. Like survival games, Hunger Games, yeah, needs a life system. Sky Battle, I can understand a life system. Battle Box, life system, yeah, like those, the life system in the sense of like you have X amount of lives, and it becomes a try to survive as long as possible. Some games need them. My God, that's good. It's because I literally put my hands over my microphone and talked like 1 inch away from the mic. No, so like Life Series didn't popularize that. A life-based system for minigames has been a thing for the longest of time before Life Series. Life Series was not the first thing to ever popularize a life-based system. What I'm talking about is when you have a minigame. For example, I always come back to this, because I think it would be a better minigame to play in Mania Party. So Mania Party, when I played it with Carter, May, and Kate, lives like Crash Bandicoot or Spyro, yes. So in Mania Party, the first one when it got revamped into like an actual mini game style board game thing, which is really cool and really fun. I like the concept. There was that Sumotori game where you had knockback sticks, and the more you knocked the player off, the higher your chance of you getting knocked off was, because your knockback like attribute got increased more and more, and so you had the odds of getting like knocked off, right? So what happened was they took that and then they added a 3 life system where you had 3 lives before you were then eliminated from the game, right? In my head after playing that, I'm like, why is there a life system in the first place? Why don't they just make it a score value? Like whoever has the most knockbacks, like whoever knocked off the most players in X amount of time gets a higher point value if you're in certain threshold, so on and so forth, right? Like that type of stuff. Because realistically, it's a mini game, right? And what happens is when there's a life system, players will fight, and if you get knocked off early and you have like 2 or 1 lives, people just then do this. They hide in a corner with F5, waiting for someone to pop around the corner, and then they'll hit them with the knockback stick, and they'll just stay right here. Goes because it was like Grian made Life Series because it was just a fun little whimsy thing and it did really popular, and so he expanded on it. But I'm talking about like Minecraft events. I'm not talking about just like SMPs. The Life Series needs a life-based system. I'm talking about Minecraft events for like the mini games that are played in a Minecraft event. But one of the funniest moments that I remember in Mania Party was Carter being reckless and going. He dies one time. He's down to 2 lives and goes, "Guys, I'm doing something crazy." And you just hear him go, "I'm diving in," and he just full on die. I can't see what he's doing. All I hear is him just screaming and hyping himself up as he's basically 3v1ing a team, knocking off 2 of the players, and then gets knocked off himself. Right? Like, that was one of the funniest and like memorable moments, was Carter just being silly because he didn't care about his lives so much, and he just held W and just continued to like try to hit as many people off, right? And eventually he did die later, like a little bit later after. But I'm like, why can't there just be mini games where it's like you don't have to worry about a life system? I get some of them need a life system. I understand that. But not every minigame needs to be like, oh, you only lasted X amount of time, so you get this many points, but you got kills, so this is this many points. Where it's like, imagine a Sumotori game like Mania Party, right? But there is no life system. So anytime you fall off, you just spawn in a random location again, and you can just run back into the fight and not worry about like, oh, if I die here, then my team's not going to get as many points, so on and so forth. Instead of being like, all right, we're round 2, you run back to the same person that knocked you off and you try knocking them off again. It just becomes just a full out like chaos fight fest. From a creator standpoint and a viewer standpoint, I think that'd be very, very entertaining. Because you then have people who aren't as PvP oriented not have to worry about dying super early on, and they can just full send. Get points for a high kill streak if it was in limited lives. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, you can also do like modifiers stuff where it's like, oh, you get a bonus if you survive the longest without getting knocked off, or you get a bonus for having the highest kill streak. And you just do that type of stuff. Because like when certain quote-unquote PvP games have a life-based system, the players who are a bit more nervous and are worried about like pulling down their team's score, and so they kind of just hide and they play passive. From a viewer perspective, it's a little bit like, some can say it's boring, but others are like it's a little bit scary as well, right? But then there's also the fact of like, what if there wasn't that issue then? Now imagine your favorite creators who don't PvP, right? Who have 0 PvP experience. And you just can tell them, hey, it doesn't matter if you die, just hold W and just try to knock people off. You know how much fun from a viewer perspective that would be to watch your creators who don't do PvP actually like run into PvP fights and not have to worry about like dying super early on. Because like imagine the creators. Right, I'm gonna take for example, for example the Hermits. Right, the Hermits aren't the best PvPers. They're decent. Some of them are decent, but not all of them are gonna like just try to like survive in PvP aspects, right? But imagine if one of your Hermits, your favorite Hermit creator pops off because they get like 4 or 5 kills in a row from knocking players off. That's a cool hype moment. That's a fun hype moment that you get to see from a person who isn't known for doing PvP, because they are always going to have to worry about like dying super early on by something like that. That's why I'm like, I want to see moments in events where it's like you don't have to worry about a life system, and it's just about like it's just a score point modifier, or it's just a score manipulation thing about if you live longer or you uh, get the longest kill streak, right? Like that's why in Block Wars, um, the Quasar game, I forget what it's called, is fun because even though it's a bit more technical and skill based because you have to understand how a crossbow works, but it doesn't feel bad when you die just because you're like, you need to try to, you just go back in, you go right away back into it. And so my whole thing is events, one, need to redo their games to where it's not like it feels like every other game. It's just here's a PvP game, here's a movement game, here's a team-based game, and it's just reskins of other games that have been played. And I understand why they do it is because they want themselves and their friends to play mini games that are similar to like popular mini games and events that they aren't a part of. But at the same time, I'm like, we are creators. We can be creative. Literally creator and creative have like the first few letters of the same word. So create something new or different. Please. It'd be a lot more fun of an experience. More silly comp, but also more fun games. Like, look, I want to say this now. Majority of event players don't enjoy Sky Battle or survival games because it has been repeated over and over again, and no event has been able to fully flesh out a proper idea to make it work. Because if you die to the void, if you were to die to the void early from Sky Battle or die early in survival games, it just feels bad. They share a root word for a reason. Exactly. Like, I want to hear I want to hear this. I want to hear y'all's opinion for this concept, right? Sky Battle is a game, or survival games, but either of them work, right? In MCC, we're gonna specifically say MCC for this reason, are two games that are kind of like finalized in the space that like you're either good at it or you kind of just stay with your team and play it out, right? Especially survival games, right? Survival games becomes a big game of try to survive for as long as possible because it does need to have a life-based system, and when you get into a PvP fight, it's whoever's just better at PvP wins, right? I want to change the music real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna go to lo-fi. Right, so here's my question for y'all. From a viewer perspective, what are your thoughts on having the event players, the contestants, in a game like survival games, instead of every item always being the same type of sword, crossbow, axe, and so on and so forth, MCC coded custom weapons, maybe not so much armor, because armor can get a bit complicated depending on how easy it is to like learn, but we'll say armor as well. Custom weapons and armor based off of what they did for their Sky Battle TCG. And the reason why I say this is you don't have to make it overly complicated with like having it be like, oh, this sword only does four hearts of damage, but this sword does actually 6 hearts of damage, because like that overcomplicates it. It makes it a lot of problems for like newer players trying to understand how certain things work, and you're not trying to combo like armor and gear together, because that's just an entire MMO in itself right there. We don't want that. But I'm saying, imagine if you find someone give me one of their favorite creators who isn't good at PvP. Like, someone give me a creator who isn't like the best at PvP. That's in MCC. Like, just someone throw out a name. Soup, Eloise, Tango, Ren. Okay, yeah. So imagine those people in MCC, right? And they are running through survival games, right? They run through survival games. And we're gonna pretend this, right? They're running through. They get up here. It's the start of the event, right? And then they go into here, and then they go into a chest and they open it. And they find their usual stuff, like you can have like a wooden sword and some armor and so on and so forth, right? But imagine what's also in here. Hold on, I need to see what the game was called. What was it called? What is it called? I want to make sure I know what the exact game is. Okay, yeah. So imagine they go also in here, and they find the they find the Rocket Spleef Rush cannon that has 5 charges on it or something like that. That when they right click it, it shoots out a gassed fireball. Like, it doesn't break blocks, but it does the explosion damage. Right. And now the person who doesn't have PvP has a chance, because that thing can do a decent amount of damage, but it's a projectile, right? Of course, you have to balance the damage numbers and everything, so it's not like if one player has it, they automatically win the game. But that's what I mean, right? They find items, they find things that are tied to other bits of... Like, imagine they find dynamite from Railroad Rush that they can throw at people. No, MCC has been wanting to revamp some of the games. They've been wanting to revamp stuff for a while. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, also, maybe there's a fishing rod that can act like a grapple hook that you can, like, right click and it pulls you forwards if it, like, does something, right? Because that's not actually too hard to code. About RNG over comp skill. But that's the thing. Yes, the thing is, survival games is entirely RNG. Survival games is entirely RNG in general. Because if you get into a fight and someone finds a stone sword and finds more iron armor, and you just have leather in a wooden axe and like a wooden sword, you're most likely going to lose. Randomized generation. It's basically when you open up a chest, like you draw a card from a card game. The RNG is whatever card you get, right? It's that type of stuff. It's like rolling a dice and you have an X amount of chance of getting something. But the whole like, oh, it'd be more RNG than comp skill. Survival games has entirely been RNG the entire time. Like, yes, players can find good gear and then fight, and that's why you could have all these different items. But I'm also saying they don't have to be super strong. I'm saying change the way how we look at events instead of everything being exactly stone sword, stone axe, crossbow, and just chained iron armor, right? How every event has been. We throw in a bit of like special unique items. And of course, again, they'd have to be balanced to figure out damage numbers and so on and so forth. But like, I think that would be more fun, because then it gives players a chance to be like, oh no, I'm getting attacked by a good player that's in PvP. Okay, cool. I can fire a fireball directly at their face, and it does like 3 hearts of damage. Right? It's a gas fireball. It's a projectile. You can do stuff with it. Then it has a recharge time, so you just can't spam fireball charges at somebody. But like that's what I mean, right? You take the random, you take the bits of fun RNG aspect to a game, and then you make it balanced for both the skill players and the good players, because then the skill players can still use it to their advantage, but the people who aren't as skilled have a chance to fight and win. Like, that's my whole point. Is give people a chance. Theme weapons like a flaming scythe. The thing is, you have to keep it relative to MCC. You can't code it to where unless you had like a specific thing, you need to keep it simple enough for players to know how the game works. But then you also need to keep it simple enough to where what you are creating isn't going to complicate it for new players. Because trust me, I can throw out event ideas. I also I want to go to Noxite in Avondale, and I want to build probably one of the most BM to get to the other side maps, and just see the chaos that would happen from it. And the amount of rage clips that you would get from this map. So I've had this BM bad manners. Just the annoyance and chaos that this to get the other side map would cause to players. So imagine, chat, to get to the other side, right? You know how there's a punching mechanic. And there would always be mechanics to where if someone punches, they get rage, they get frustrated and becomes chaos, right? So, you know how there can be like an MCC chaos mode sometimes where it's just full crazy randomness everywhere? So I thought of a map that I kind of have planned out and build be an event. So you did test it first. I wouldn't punch you to an hello Shep. Well, no, so here's the thing. I can give out the map. I can just present the map in itself. I'm not testing it. I'm just building it. They would have to test it. But like just build a rough concept map for them. But the idea is you take the 40 contestants, right? And you randomize the 40 contestants. Maybe you split each team in half. So it's 2 and 2. Right? So if you ever play GTA 5, there is a custom racing maps that you can play where you basically all start the same direction, but then you get a new car and you have to then drive back the same straight pathway as other cars are driving towards you. So imagine, I'm just going to use red versus blue for now, just so we can see this idea. You split the two teams in half. You split the teams in half. So like you split your team in half. So two go on the left side, 2 go on the right side, right? And then everyone There are different little pathways that you could take, right? That have little bits of parkour and little bits of everything to it, but ultimately it's just a straight path. And you're basically running. So if you're on blue side, you have to run towards red side to whack your chicken. If you're on red side, you have to run towards blue side to whack your chicken. And you basically have to just get across while you are running into and past other players, both on your team, because like 2 of you would be on this side and the other 2 on your team would be on this side. And you would have to just go across and try to get there towards the end while running into other players, while punching other players off, and so on. So there'd be different pathways, so it's not just a straight line. It's basically a big Red Rover map, yeah. I want to see what would happen in the chaos that would cause. From a viewer perspective, it would be so funny. From a viewer perspective, it would be... We might get another Captain Sparkle's fork moment. It genuinely... It would be so... From a viewer perspective, it would be enjoyable. From a creator perspective, an event perspective, it would be miserable. Unless you got there super early on, you just had to watch everything happen. The rage comp from that would be so funny. It would get easier towards the end because that means that players would... That means because less players would be finishing, so it's less people to like punch you off, run into. But it'd be so funny. It'd be so funny. I was listening. A little idea I had for to get to the other side. Because and it's fine. Because like here's the thing, right? As a creator, there are 2 things that we need to keep in mind. We're playing an event, and it's Minecraft, and it's not that serious. And so it's all for the joy. And also, we're making content. So, content play. That's always what runs in my head, is like, it's the content play that would happen. Also, by the way, I don't know if I properly said hello to Shep, but hello, Shep. If I didn't properly say hello, oh my bad. I was talking about stuff, but yeah. I think it'd just be fun. It's funny, like Phil and Lizzie and Joel and last MCC. No, exactly. Like there are so many things that I feel that. Yes, people take too seriously because they just want to win. And like, I understand that winning is fun. Winning is enjoyable. I like to win. I enjoy winning. But also, goal as creator is to do funny bit and entertain audience. If that's via playing well, that's also playing well. But also, if you don't want to do the bit of something just silly, come on. Come on. Like... Of course you can try to win, but also, funny bit. Silly moment. Like, literally, me and Marathon, when we first played it. Funny bit, entertain audience. Well, yeah, no, like, that's what, like, right? Like, again, me being stupid and going... What happens if I stand underneath this airdrop that's flying down onto us in Marathon? Wait, and like, it'll probably crush you. Let's find out. Runs underneath airdrop and instantly dies from being burnt, and then my body goes flying because it got crushed. Right? Like... Like, there... I can turn the Switch to be... But here's a chance for an evil chicken insta kill. That would be so mean. Um, like I can turn the switch on and off to where it's like if I need to lock in, I'll lock in. But ultimately, also when it comes to just doing funny, like this is why. Anytime I break something on a server, it's because it's the idea of, hey, does this work? Most people are like, probably not. I go, let's find out, instead of just assuming that it's probably going to be fixed. And that's what makes it fun. And then it works, yeah. Like there are a lot of stuff that I'm like, if I want to win, I want to win. I'll lock in, I'll play it. But at the same time, also, it's like, if I was an MCC, right, and I was only allowed to be an MCC if I was only going for the sticker book, right? Like that was my one, like that was the rule that was placed on me. Is like you have to only always just try to go for the sticker book and fill out those stickers. I'm like, okay, cool. Some of the stickers I do have to win and get top 3, but some of those are like, do X amount of thing for a certain amount of time. Hey, if I can get that sticker, I'm throwing the win to get that sticker. Like, if I was on a team and we were trying to go for stickers. Ref and the chickens swarming and attack. I don't think that will happen. But, like, that's what I'm saying, though, right? Like, if I was on a team that we were all going for, like, sticker achievements, you better believe I'm going for sticker achievements, and I'm going to try to get the stickers. Even if that means throwing a win. Oh, the art would be hilarious. That's why I'm like, this would be fun. This would be good. Like, if there's ever a moment where, I'm like, can I do XYZ thing? You'll find out real quickly that I will always usually see if I can do it, if it's possible. I don't think there's ever been a moment where I've thought about doing something and I haven't at least attempted it at least once. It just makes things more fun. Makes things more enjoyable. You got to at least try it at least once. At least once you got to at least make the attempt. Because if not, then what's the point? If you have the idea in your head, you at least have to see if it's doable. It's I do think me and Forsey have the same mentality when it comes to that type of stuff. Is can I do thing? Let's find out. And then thing somehow does work. It's not that we were trying to break it, we were just trying to see if it would work. Which turns out it does somehow break it. Like Farco Parkour bit. Exactly. White Room VOD. You guys talked about ways breaking it. I literally broke out of the server because Forsey put a cannon into the room and I aimed the cannon down into the floor and it phased me through the entire White Room out onto the Flat World server that it was on. Like, literally, we got an inbox mail system. And they gave us it for us to be occupied with stuff, and Forsey gave us a cannon. And so we just launched us around in the cannon. I had the idea, what happens if I launch the cannon into the floor? Because in my head, I'm like, this can either is going to somehow phase me through the floor, because the impact of it, if I angle it right, because it's like an ender pearl. And it did. That's me just seeing if something works. No, literally, put me, Forsey, Nom, and like May into a room, and us four will figure out something to break. It was launching me backwards for some reason. Don't know why. Just did. You know what's actually crazy that I realized, chat? Speaking of MCC, because y'all just said MCC team. I am the... I realized this the other day. I'm the only person so far who has not been in, like, a quote-unquote... It's not... Technically, it'd be main event, but there is no main event MCC anymore. But in, like, an event that's not Rising. From everybody in the Vampire cast. I realized that the other day because I was talking to people about it, just talking about MCC teams, and in my head I'm like, wait a minute. Huh. And like, I know why. It's because I never asked in the first place to be an MCC. But I was like, huh, yeah. Soon. Soon... In creator sense, yeah, soon, anytime. Actually, probably not. If we're talking about the soon TM, the soon trademark, oh yeah, 100% soon. But that can take up from this year to however long MCC goes for. The thing with MCC EU is one, Noxcrew needs to apply for MCC to like do an event for TwitchCon EU, but then they get accepted unless Twitch has other ideas, and then they have to invite people. I'll give you Gaslight as long as I believe. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, it's the other thing of those teams though is that they've asked beforehand to be an MCC. And so I was told that you need to ask if you want to be in future MCCs. And then it's not a guaranteed, but you're now put on like a creator list to like play in them. Oh, I've already asked the beginning of this year. Don't worry, chat. But again, it's not guaranteed. It's never guaranteed. There you go. And then there. What are you building? A lot of plant stuff right now. I'm doing the I'm bone mealing the ground by hand, and then doing custom leaves on the floor like that. In that. It's for a server extraction based game. What is MCC Minecraft Championship? Ran by Nox Crew. There we go. It's crazy to think about. MCC started because of Minecraft Mondays, which is a crazy thing to think about. Do y'all know the origins of MCC? Am I about to, like, teach y'all something? Y'all, okay, so yeah, okay, we gotta talk about the origins of MCC then. Hello, Rusty. Dude, I barely go here. You know what? Fine. All right, so back in the day, there was the point in time of 2018, 2019, 2020 when Minecraft had its resurgence. Before lockdown and everything else, Minecraft was starting to get its resurgence. Right? This is when PewDiePie started playing Minecraft because of Minecraft's anniversary and so on and so forth. Right? We all understand this time frame, right? So, because of that, the well-known drama creator channel by Keemstar made an event called Minecraft Mondays, where every Monday, very popular creators that have played Minecraft or have not played any Minecraft played in this Minecraft event. From people like Techno, which Techno wasn't as popular back then, but he got invited because of stuff, and Techno kept winning. Literally, Technoblade won, I think, 7 consecutive Minecraft Mondays in a row. Once he got invited into Minecraft Mondays. Ever play Minecraft? He really didn't. He just hosted it. It's creator joining on bandwagon for the thing to continue being relevant. But then you had people like Jay Schlatt, and this is like before they started blowing up, but you had like Jay Schlatt, Techno. You had bigger popular creators like Preston Plays, Ant Venom, I believe, Captain Sparkles, and a few other them from like early to mid Minecraft, like when Minecraft first released. And then you had creators like, I think David Dobrik at one point, James Charles, like other just overall popular creators that weren't even Jaden Animations played in it once. Yeah, like creators who don't even like aren't known for Minecraft were playing in this event just because Keemstar was hosting it. But here's the thing. Keemstar was hosting it. So it was very, very basic games. It was like a continuous parkour. It was a survival games. It was like 5 rounds of TNT run, and so on and so forth. Technoblade was so good at this, chat, for context, that Keemstar was intentionally putting him with players that were bad at Minecraft, and he was still winning. That can tell you the skill difference between him and everyone else in the lobby. This wasn't like a normal Minecraft event. It was just Minecraft players and other just popular creators. He's just like that, exactly. So what happens, though, is also it's Keemstar and his team hosting a very poor event. So it was prone to a lot of errors, a lot of things that can just break. You know what? I'm just gonna pull up a clip, and y'all are gonna understand it. There may or may not be swearing in this clip. It also got pretty toxic, yeah. Yeah, okay, so this is just a bit of a context, a little bit of context. How long was this ago? Like 6 years ago, chat. Minecraft Monday, week 6. Yeah, okay. So you're only going to get 360p because whoever re-recorded this stream from Techno decided, you know what, I'm going to see if I can find a better clip. Is this Jay Schlatt? Yeah, this is Jay Schlatt's POV. Yeah, no, I want Technoblade's POV. You're going to get 360p frame of this, so it's going to be very blurry. Apologies for that. But you're going to understand this. Nope, that's the wrong one. That was my windowed capture on Epidemic Sound. There you go. Yeah, so this is basically Minecraft. It's very, very blurry. But you're gonna understand the context of this. So basically, this is the playlist. This is literally just lo-fi. So context. This is basically just Hypixel build battle. So their theme was life on a beach, or life's a yeah. Um, and Techno, and it's Techno and J Schlatt on a team because they were trying to make Technoblade weaker, so they put J Schlatt on his team, and then Technoblade decided to do this. So context, they realized they could break the border of their build zone in because it wasn't actually preventing players from breaking blocks. Yeah, X2C was in this event also. Oh, there's Scott. That's just Scott with his old skin. And they go back to building. And he's now out of the actual border of the map. So you understand subscribe to Technoblade. Right, so and then also you can just fly over, like, so Techno, you can just break through the wall because they put a barrier on top. When they spawned a wither. No, it doesn't, but they did spawn a wither. I can pull that clip up real quickly. This is from J Schlatt's POV. Hold on, let me see. Yep. Going to turn this down. We're gonna, yep. And they spawn a wither. Yep. Funny enough, 6 years ago, recent subscriber, Sneak Snack. And the admins had instantly killed it. Oh, hello, Clementine Raiders. We're talking about the origins of MCC, and I'm showing how scuffed Minecraft Mondays was to get us to this point. But we're also building. Welcome on in, Luann Raiders. Yeah, so basically though, chat, this event was super scuffed. Also, hope you all had a wonderful time streaming. I think you guys did Bannerfall, so hope you had a wonderful time streaming Bannerfall. Hopefully it went well. But Minecraft Mondays was just an entirely scuffed event. Like, entirely scuffed. It got to the point so bad that, like, it didn't have proper DDoS protection. And so, like, towards the end of the event just kept getting hacked by hackers. over and over and over again. Like it was just so poor. It was just very, very poor. And so Keemstar was at the point of being like, I'm just done with Minecraft Mondays. We're not doing another Minecraft event, so on and so forth. And then came Scott's Major. Scott basically was like, we can do this, but better. And so he went to Noxite and Nox Crew at the time and was like, hey, I have this idea for a Minecraft event that we can do that's like at Minecraft Mondays, but better. You can place all flowers near you with air. Dally, I'm gonna be so honest. I still got I gotta go from here down, or so one command block isn't gonna be. And along came Zeus, and along came Scott. Yeah. So for the context, right? That basically he brought it to Stefan and Avondale and so on, and was like, hey, this is something that would be doable. And Noxcrew took the risk and was like, yeah, we can try to see how like well it does a few times just to see whatever. And it became really, really popular because it was a very thought out thing. Yes, there was some scuff early on, and yes, it was very, very bare bones, but over time they started to establish it more and more. And then we have the MCC that we have today. But yeah, so Minecraft Mondays was the start of MCC and other major Minecraft events, which is crazy to think about. But anyways, waiters, what were y'all up to? What was Luann's stream on Bannerfall about? What did y'all do? Good history lesson. Good little bit of history. Oh my goodness. Yeah, as for us, chat and raiders, we're kind of just placing down a lot of grass, a lot of bone meal. I've bone mealed this entire area over 3,000 times. What are my stats at right now? Now 4,000 blocks have been bone mealed. 4,225 blocks have been bone mealed. Because it's covering the entire area. So like a vine and be as vines because your skin being there. /NF. You know what? Sure, because it'd be funny. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it because I know they're. I need to find the vine. But anyway, Deli, basically, be funny if the vine is just something that is like the one time abolished was on Bannerfall SMP and leave it at that. And don't say anything else. It's just a figure in the distance. And it's just with the title, the one time abolished was on Bannerfall SMP, and just leave it at that, and let Owen and everyone else try to figure out how I was on Bannerfall, because it'd be very funny for them to try to figure that out. Never elaborate. Never elaborate. Don't be like the one time abolished is skin. No, just say the one time abolished was on Bannerfall. And we leave it at that. Emission otters, yep. Where they all change costume to each other like 4 times. Yeah, but that makes it obvious, though. We gotta do something that's not obvious. Hates my humor? No. 1, never said that. 2, I'm trying to make it a funny bit to make the owners of PoW paranoid of how I got onto the server, or how I was ever in Bannerfall in the first place. That's what I'm trying to do. By the way, chat, I've been slowly, like... Oh, what's the word? Are low but never zero. I've been sort of, like... How do I say this? I have, growing up, I watched a lot of different creators on YouTube and such, both PG and non-PG friendly, family friendly and such, right? Like I watched a lot of Vanoss Crew. I watched a lot of different creators from on Call of Duty and so on and so forth. So I've been slowly just getting to the point of like I'm just gonna say whatever pops into my head that I find funny, because it would be a funny joke even if it is dark humor. And I find it very, very enjoyable in the moments that I'm creating, where I don't do it often, because if I do it often, then it's just like, it is what it is, right? But if I say it at some good moments, it's very funny because of the reactions that come out from it. For example, the comment I made when Owen asked in his chat the other day of how he should do the Scott statue for Bannerfall. And he's like, I could do like a hand coming out from out of the ground, but that'd be like he's dead, quote unquote. That'd be referring to he's dead. And my response to that was, well, like father, like son. And the physical reaction and the amount of shock that I caused Owen in chat, that was the context of that comment, yeah. Because that's the thing. Those are, like, that's the type of humor that I grew up watching from watching creators like Smitty, Vanoss, Wildcat, and all a bunch of different creators growing up, right? Puffer, Grizzy, like all these like funny moment gaming creators, is that they would always joke with each other, and it would always just lead towards dark humor. And so that's what I just grew up with. But for the longest time in these chats now, I've been like, I could say something funny, but at the same time, probably won't. But now I'm to a point now where I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna, if it would make a funny bit, I'm gonna say it. See, the thing is, you can't keep it. You have to also keep in mind that, like, I can't say the most unhinged thing, because again, it's like, for example, Owen's chat is also family friendly, so like there is a level of keeping in mind of things that I should say and should not say to allow. and so on and so forth, right? Like, keep the door, remove the hinges. Um, but what's funny out of that, though, the reactions coming from it are unexpected, and it makes it really really funny because if you do it too much, then it's like, oh, it's just another unhinged thing, so on and so forth, right? But if I say it once in a while, and it's at like a good comedic timing, it's funny, it's funny, right? So it's also like I'm just gonna respond with the first thought in my head sometimes. Because what was it? Um, Improv spooky scare escape room that I'm working on right now. That, by the way, chat, all the video stuff is done and like cut out. I just have to add music and some sound design and then like cut it down a bit more, like take out all the dead space, and then I should be good to upload it hopefully later this week. Uh, but what I find so funny is I made two comments to Jaw that shocked him, but also was very very funny. Um, One of them being like, 'cause this is after Jaw was dead, so Jaw was just trying to hackle me, like a heckle and mess. And so I said two comments to Jaw. One of them, he said, "Oh, you should wipe the blood from your eyes." I said, "No, that's what lubricates them." Sent him into confusion and spiral after I said that. The other one was that I just, because Jaw was like, "Why aren't you answering me?" After he kept trying to heckle me over and over again. I responded with, "Jaw, I will wrench your soul out from existence." That's art worthy. And that terrified him. So again, just saying the thing that I feel like would be the best thing for the scenario. Not always saying it, but saying it from time to time. But nope. Beanie, thank you for the 5 bits. More unhinged humor. So I can start following you. Yeah, no, Vampires was fun. It was a good moment. Like, I know Owen mentioned something about like writing specific responses as the Creaking King to when players hop into the dungeon, but he's trying to like specify stuff. What y'all building? Exclamation Project will tell you fully, but basically we are building a Pale Garden, which is this massive thing. It stops right around where those green trees are. So from there all the way up to there and then around. And we're kind of doing all the foliage right now. In my head, I'm like, I could, if I was able to just get access to what everyone's lore was, I know I could write just some knife goes into gut and just twists the knife afterwards and yank it out messages to players. Like, I know I could just so write some brutal messages. No, no, I'm saying if I was the Creaking King messages. Like, if I was the one writing them, I know I could write some just rough messages that would, like, scar some players. It's nice though that, for the most part right now, a lot of this grass is kind of, like, mixed in already for us, so it's very easy just to just fill in the pale moss portions. And just let it do the rest. If I was to do the voice of the Creaking King, I would probably add a little bit of a voice modifier to it. Have a bit more of like an airy, like crunch, cracking noise to the voice. Have a slight little bit of echo. I feel like that would just work best for the Creaking King. Like dead branches and resin. Almost, yeah. Something still audible to be able to hear. And there we go for that. Let me come over here. It's funny how this area feels a lot more like opened, arid, with shaders on, right? But as soon as I turn the shaders off, it feels so dead. It feels so dead in this world. Like everything just feels like all the color and like warmth just got pulled out from it, and it feels so cold and dead. Also, chat. I saw the word room, which reminded me. Um, have a rough estimate of when I can move to a different room to start a new little like office space area, which would be after like the first week of April. So that'll be fun. So relatively soon. Not super soon, but enough. Gets credit for a decor stream? No. Absolutely not. One, no offense, don't trust y'all. Two, also, don't have the money for that. No, I like this idea. Yeah, I don't. So we're not doing it. It's gonna be in the room. Don't know yet. It's gonna just be a nice little office workspace, which also means I can have my gym equipment in there as well. So like I can also work out in that space, which will be lovely for me. Because all my stuff's in my room, so I always have to pull it out to work out, and then I need to always put it back. But if it's always in there, that means I can work out in there as well, which would be nice. I can send to ads. Ah, that's funny. That's funny. Go building. Let's go. Hello, Shauna. Shauna, look. Look how far I've gotten. We're not going to worry about the satellite because I stopped over by the satellite. So, like, but, like, everything from, like, that point on downwards and then, like, up to here, up to, like, there. We haven't really touched that area. But, like, from here to then, like, to there, all the way to that corner. So much has gotten done. You can kind of tell where it kind of like stops and starts going inwards a little bit more. I still need to do all of that. But for the most part, and I need to do all this, I am like right around here. My goodness. It's coming together. It's coming along nicely. I'm just glad whoever like did a little bit of the grass terrain kind of worked on it, because it's made my life a little bit easier. Because that means I can just right-click the moss, and the moss does all the work. And then I just fill in the other gaps with normal leaves. I have to go back to the trenches. If I get another idea, I'm I'm not doing it on my own. But like it looks so good and just better. All I'm saying is whoever is doing the landscaping for out here, good luck with that. Because I'm just gonna stay over here. This is my landscaping duty. Y'all can do whatever, but yeah, no, this is just what I'm doing. Does moss? Hold on. It doesn't. Ugh. I'll come back to that later. I'm not gonna worry about those. But yeah, like here, luckily I don't have to worry about it too much because most of it is just water, and so I just have to go on the outer edges. Because the mud in that, I can, like, add a little bit here and there. But for the most part, the mud's just going to stay muddy. And not have too much plants on them. Unless I want to bone meal some areas. Yeah, all I'm gonna say is, if there's a baby zombie in here, I am so sorry. Y'all are just gonna have to keep running till you find high ground to kill it. Because it's so much 1-block high leaves. Yeah, there's also this armadillo. I don't know where this dude came from. But there's just an armadillo that somehow wandered into the pillow garden. I don't know where he came from. Chat, I can't keep him. Like, both metaphorically and literally, I cannot keep this guy because it's just in the creative world. Unless some of y'all ask Legs how we can keep an armadillo into this area. Where the world sits a savanna biome. That is true. Hold on. F3 6. Biome and F3 is already set. Biome painter. Deep Ocean, Birch Plains, Birch. It's all just locate command. Oh, true. Hold on. / locate. No, that's just compass. That's just that. That's. It's a different command because of. Yeah. Oh, you got armored scoot. It's a different command because we're in 1.21.11, I think. I should do some sideways logs. I think those would be cool. Chat, do y'all know the command for it? That's not it. Oh, hey, Shauna. Yeah, we don't know where this came from. Oh, well. And he's drowning. He lives here now? Ah, I see. Okay, well. Hooray. Shauna, thoughts on making, like, asking legs to have an armadillo NPC fisherman at this hut? Because of this guy here now. Just shakes head vigorously, yes. Yeah. We can see that if that's doable. This is Tyrese. I'm on Shadow Shaw now. Is that my legacy? Apparently. You should have mugged Julius when I had the chance. Oh, that's crazy. Goodness me, there's just so much to bone meal. I'm gonna say this now, I know these are like quote unquote dead spots, but like let's be so real. Brown mushroom block for this in this biome, annoying. So annoying to deal with. Like, you can have little ones, but why is such a spot this massive? Because this was here before we updated this biome. Like, I'm fine with little dead spots like this. This is fine. This is all good. Red Space Rabbit, thank you for the 4 months now. I appreciate that. Command seems unchanged. Maybe it's a server thing? Maybe. It might be a server thing. It probably is a server thing, let's be real. Okay. It's game rules I mostly have changed. Yeah. So it is probably then just a server thing. Which makes sense. There. Okay, that was made to tell us the song was playing, but no one coded when the workload next time. Yeah, probably not, no. Because I don't have a Spotify subscription because I don't want to pay for a Spotify subscription, so I'm not using Spotify. That is the easiest reason why I don't have one in the first place. Cough, APK, cough. What is APK? Dally, do you want to give context? You're the one that said it. Can the win elaborate? When you see TikTok videos and it's just like, when XYZ did this because of this, and then in the comments are like, when you give context for the viewer, you can get premium but free. Could do that. Definitely could do that. But I also could just listen to my music normally through YouTube. And pull a nominal gravy and play music through YouTube. I'm gonna fight whoever decided to just bone meal this area without breaking the flowers. This is probably beforehand, but like, you didn't even bone meal everything. You just bone mealed like one line and then left. We can blame Jaw. He hasn't built a single thing, but we can. All right, cool. We're blaming Jaw. Spam the grass. No, because the grass is still good. It's just the eye blossoms. If are you done? Could do that. That's a world edit thing. I don't use world edit, so I didn't think about that. Issue is I've already placed certain eye blossoms down in areas, and I should have done that beforehand. And I don't remember where I placed them exactly. So we're kind of just here now. I'm kind of just in the moment of, oh, well, we've put ourselves in this position. Yeah. I think Lagundo did that, Legs. Come on. Get with the program. We're not trying to add color to this biome. We're trying to make it look decayed and decrepit, but not the SMP. Candy jump all man new tricks. Oh my goodness. Chat, do you know that, like, what is it? I forget what it's called, but it's like tall grass that, like, when you're in an overgrown area, like in the wilderness, and you're running through like grass field, but the grass goes up to like not to your knee, like tall grass, not like this tall, but like how this tall is, but it's like right around like shin height. That's what this was reminding me of. Sometimes it can be itchy. A meadow, glen of prairie, probably prairie grass. That's what I'm thinking. Like prairie-esque grass where you just go through it. That's like a billion grass species. No, I get that. I just don't know what it is. I just remember going through it. And I remember running through it. It's like prairie grass, but I can't remember what it is. To be fair, I don't even know what the name of the grass is called. I just remember what it looks like and feels like. So even if you told me what the grass was, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you the answer. The grass is almost as tall as me before they mow it. Yep. Sounds about right. Mother Nature will reclaim what it once had. Okay, we're almost done. Over here on this side, I think I'm gonna also cut down a lot of the tall grass, because we're starting to blend in with the like swamp over here, and so still have some, but not as dense of an area out here. Because we're starting to merge back into a different biome. And so to kind of keep that feel, also no moss over here either. Actually, maybe a little bit of moss, like right here, just to showcase it as it like goes deeper in. Like I want to blend it to where it gets a bit more dense the closer we are towards there. And then break all of these flowers. That's good. And as we slowly get closer and closer to here, we start seeing these moss patches. We can remove all these eye blossom. I'm gonna have to go at night and just break all of these. Add a bit of moss here. Add a bit of moss here. There we go. Okay. Anyone ever experienced nettles? What they say? I don't know what a nettle is. Or an eye blossoms. Yeah. For the time being. Great flower in Minecraft. Especially with shaders. But like, for right now, don't want them. That can stay. I have to keep in mind of how close we are to the swamp. So I can't do too much foliage. Because the swamp is like dense, but it's also very like open. And so I want it to feel like as you're running into this, it starts to form a bit more with the blending. No saplings though. And then this is where everything starts to get a bit more dense. Chat, we've done a lot of work today. I will say that. Like, for what we've had to like start with, we've gotten a lot done today, which I think is pretty good. Now, we're not like done yet because we still gotta, there's a lot of open paths and like pathing and such that definitely does need to be fixed. But for the most part, it's pretty good so far. Right here. Alright. Let's see. Oh, there's a break. That works. That needs to be broken. Yeah, leaving this open's fine. I feel like that's okay. Frog. I think just having some taller grass and that be it's just spread out around here would be nice. Oh, dang it doesn't. That's good there. That's to there. Put some there. Okay. For the yeah, nah, there's still a decent amount that I need to fill in. And honestly, sometimes the easiest way of doing that is just getting bone meal and just placing it where I need it to be placed. Like all over here. Okay. That's fine. Let's go there. This needs to be placed to here. Again, not every single piece of grass needs to be filled in, but it just needs to be enough to where it's blocking certain sight lines. This really is just an endurance game at this point, chat. It's pretty much just how far can I continuously right-click bone meal until I tell myself I need to take a break. Definition of insanity. Yep. Slowly going insane, but you know it's fine. It's for a build. Did I eat today? Oh yeah, no, I did eat. I always have breakfast before I stream. You ate Diva? You ate. I am losing my mind though. I've kind of just like locked in, and that's why I'm not speaking anymore. Like it's just gotten to that point of the stream where I'm just like zoned in on just placing block, right clicking block, placing block, right clicking block, over and over and over again. I've been drinking water. Don't worry, chat. It's just like a oof. That's good. Time card dropped is? I don't think so. I do not believe they did. Let me just get this portion relatively done. And then we'll call it there. We'll do our little sellout bell end of stream stuff. And then we'll be good for today. Huzzah. Huzzah indeed. And later today I can come back through here and see what I have to finish. Let me connect this up to here. And let me connect this up to here. Cool. Alright, so we went through there, that's there, you have a little bit of opening here, that's fine, you have this here, I want to put a little bit of grass there. Alright, that's all connected up to there. We can add, is that a bit of moss? Just a small spitch there. That's fine, we can add a bit of moss section there. I'm kind of just filling in the gaps to connect everything back up real quickly. And then to here. Cool. So that's there. That's to there. That leads all on the out edge. I need to put some stuff to here. It's fine. All this overgrown. Cool, yep, so that leads in. I still need to do all that on that side. And then probably... Actually, I'm gonna just put, like, moss all around this, because I feel like that's gonna look nice. I just do, like, just a patch of moss surrounding it, like there. There we go, so that fills into there, that goes to there. Just a few leaves there. That flows, perfect. That goes to there, that goes to there. We're gonna put some moss in just to break up the color. And then have some leaves just run down the side of this. Oh, is this hollow? Oh, of course it's hollow. Whoever built these beforehand decided to not fill these in, and they're just hollow blocks. Because I think they were lazy. Shots fired. I'm just saying. It's not hard to just fill it in. That way mobs don't spawn in there at night, which then actually doesn't affect the gameplay loop of extraction. There's a reason we're building it for now. Ah, fair. New chicken will be squashed. Like, it's a good exterior design, it's just... I don't know why they're hollow. Alright, so I basically have to... I've done all this a little bit to here, so I need to connect all that up to here. I then need to take this entire corner, so all of this here. So up the mountain, on there, I need to put a tree up there. I just need to do like a tree. Just take like that tree and just put it there. Do that all the way across. Then need to do all the way up to this satellite here. So I've kind of done a little bit, and then I went inwards. So we kind of just have this corner left, really. Because I think for the most part, on slash time, actually gonna put shaders on. Yeah, for the most part, chat. I'm also doing shaders on because it lets me see if I'm missing any more grass spots that are like very noticeable, like here. But like very like fix that, fill in that there. Probably just put in some ferns just here just to fill it in. That's fine. Here can have some grass. Here can have a few bits of grass and some ferns. Probably a tall fern here. That's all good there. That's the swamp, so it needs to be a little bit not as dense, but more to like knee height grass. So a little bit of moss as well. That's fine. We can go back through and redo retouch-ups there. I need to come all the way through. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, there's just some spots that are like between crevices that you just miss, and like between certain blocks that you just don't like notice. But I think I got all of this. I did all this last night. Yeah, for the most part, like not every single block needs to have grass on it, just because people still need to be able to like kill stuff. But like here, I can just put some grass down, just to fill in the spaces. And all this is into here. All this foliage is good to here. I did all this to here. I didn't do anything on the satellite besides on this side where I went to like the halfway mark. Just as like a stopping point. I still need to do this entire mountain, which I'm basically just going to cover it in moss. It's just the easiest way to do it, just cover it in moss. And just kind of just blend it in. But then other than that, there are some spots here, which like, again, I need to just do a bit of just cleaning up. And kind of just place a few things, place a few ferns. And just do that, and that just already fixes it. Okay, they can't, if they chuck an ender pearl down here, they're not going to get stuck because they can crawl out, so that's fine there. Cleo! Welcome to Raiders. Go a little bit longer since Cleo raided into us. Welcome on in, Raiders. We're working on a massive build project called Extraction, which is a extraction-based looter game on Lagundo's server. And so we've been using Axiom, and we're working on a Pale Garden right now. So we've made a bunch of tree templates and then placed them all around there. And then we have the structure in the center that we've also like template-wised. Vampire Raid Channel, welcome on to Vampire Raider Trade. And then from there, I've been going by hand and bone mealing the grass and the moss and removing all but a few of the eye blossoms. Besides like specific areas like this big tree that we had. It's like a psycho, yeah, because I don't know how to do it with Axiom, so we're doing it this way. For context, I have bone mealed in this region, because I've only used bone meal in here. I've bone mealed 5,191 blocks of Avid to Cleo to Natterball, so that's cool. So yeah, if you want context, the land looked like this beforehand. Very flat and kind of open. And I have bone mealed it to not look like that. So it looks very much like a cinematic area now. Very, very custom map design with the trees and I'll show you shaders. I can teach you when you're making me lose it. If you have a brush schematic that I can do that would allow me to do this easier, please. With realms? Ooh. Like I'm learning Axiom, and so I've done a lot of stuff by hand. I know how to do the stamp tool, I know how to do all that. It's just when it comes to script brushes, I have no idea how to do a script brush. All right, go into Axiom. We'll skip this right now. I've just been using the leaf script brush for the leaves, but I am at script. It should be grass. Yeah, so I know there is a grass brush. The issue is with this brush is it doesn't always work for some reason. Because I'm also not trying to brush over certain rocks. So, like, I know I can do this. It's just, I'm trying not to accidentally, like, paint and do brushes like that's on this. That's the one downside. I'm also trying to implement fern and tall fern into, like, the mixture of this. Or ash about that? Yeah. And so that's why I've kind of just been doing it by hand, because I don't mind just going on through and being like this and then just bone mealing, and if there's any spore like eye blossoms, just breaking them instead. It is a big help though, because like that's just super nice and easy to do. Like if I just want to do that, wonderful. That's great. And I probably will do that for like these areas where I can't really like bone meal. I'll probably just go around like this. That's a big help. But for other little areas, I've just been bone mealing because I kind of have a system where if there are any closed eye blossoms, I will just replace it, or open eye blossoms, I replace them with ferns, and so that's how I know what I can use. But other than that, yeah, no, this is good. This just makes it easier for me to just do that and not worrying about it. Maybe if I make it small enough, I just keep going back over it, that can work. Yeah, that can sort of work. It's also funny that I've been removing any type of bright color in this build. So any type of bright greens or high saturation that isn't like the grayscale, I've been removing. Because it's supposed to feel scary. The emo biome. Yeah, basically. So like for example, I'm gonna have a torch. Time, set, night. The goal is to have this be... Who turned off the sun? Hello, Shauna. It's supposed to have this like ominous feel to it, especially if you have shaders. So like if I go to shaders, bliss. And Jonathan's gonna get even darker / time set midnight. This is kind of the feeling and the vibe. Is this very ominous thing, and what we kind of did unintentionally is like we have soul lanterns where chests are, so it looks like a pair of eyes in the distance, which when you're walking and running, and if you just keep it in mind of like this in the corner right here, it looks like Herobrine's watching you. Right, so Mirkwood, very Hobbit. Yeah, so like, and it depends on the shaders that you use. Like that's Blizz, this is BSL, which gives you like a very Witcher feeling. And if you don't have a torch in your hand, it just gets even darker. And so the idea is to just have a few eye blossoms scattered around that kind of give you your own bit of light source. Um, Jerry, thank you for the 4 months. I appreciate it. But then we just have this big tree, which I wanted to incorporate, where like the eye blossoms are mainly condensed in this one area. So there's this big tree that we have, and so I scattered around a bunch of the eye blossoms at night, so it looks like this. But you want to make this place feel scary. So the mobs that are specifically going to spawn in here are creaking, and that's the idea. Is like they blend in within the forest, and you only see their like gold eyes. I don't know if I can spawn a creaking or not. Nope, cannot because of time of day. But this is kind of the vibe, right? And if you really want to make it into a full horror pack, you just go into Spooky Elementary, and then now you have entirely, you are now in a Slenderman horror game. Welcome to the fear. Welcome to scare. And then again, blue lights make it look like there are a pair of eyes watching you in the distance. And again, the eye blossoms give even more of a faint glow to them. So if you want to run Extraction on a fear mode, you just turn on Spooky Elementary and you just head to this biome. And so I'm trying to make it very, very block line of sight and everything. Yep, 3 hours. So we're going to be ending here shortly. But I just wanted to just show you. All right, Shauna, it's going to get bright again. There you go. Lights are back on. And now you're in like an apocalyptic feel during the daytime with Spooky Elementary. So, but yeah, like that's... It almost gives like Elden Ring vibes with the shader during noon. So, that was kind of the vibe for it. And right now I've been using Complementary and Solus and that to just see how it feels throughout different times of the day. And just, they get the feeling of like this density in this build. So we also have this right here, which Legs doesn't have it on right now, but when it's coded, it gives the heartbeat of the warden every few seconds when you're near this. Because we wanted to make this feel like a Bloodborne, Dark Souls-like boss fight area. And Legs did say, once he figures out how to code bosses in Minecraft, this can probably be a boss area where a boss generally spawns. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool. But right now, I'm gonna leave those. No, I'll remove a few of them. Not too many, just a few. That works. The thing that I have to do, or that I'm doing, is going back. You'll see it right here. This is what it basically looks like beforehand. It's very flat. Like, you can pretty much see everything down to that, like, building over there. But my goal is to make it to where I can block the sightlines more with foliage, so it looks more like this. And that's way big of a difference just by adding grass. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, we have this, and if we just turn around there, it looks like that. Like, someone cut the lawn, it's all nice and pretty, and you turn around behind you, and it looks like it's overgrown and lost. I also have to add moss that goes all the way up this mountain, just so I can blend it in better with the biome. But that is what I've been doing the entire time here. So there's also this creaking... Oh, there it is. It's actually over here with this one. Hold on. So it's that heartbeat. So that's in this one. It's going to be also there in that castle. All it is a command block repeating. So imagine that. Sean, I'm turning off the lights again. But you hear this. Yeah, and then if you want to add even more, you just go... Right. So basically that. Add a bit of music, add a bit of sound design, and it makes everything a bit scarier. How far can you hear from it? Okay, so you have to be like right around this radius to start hearing it. Yeah, right around this radius. So it's not like you're gonna be able to hear it far away. It's just when you get close enough to it. So it'll be that over there with that big creaking, and then also in the castle you'll hear that same sound. So there and there. Morning, Shauna. But yeah, so that is what I've been working on right now, is trying to just fill all this in with bone meal and like bone blocks and such. And moss. How much? Actually, I want to see something. Let me turn down the noise. Lo-fi. Stats. Items. Broke. Crafted. It's used. Yeah. Mine 0 blocks because I'm doing it in creative. Yep, sounds about right. But yeah, so basically just need to fill in. As you can see, that we've been working on it in like different parts. And we all, pretty much all that have left is just this corner. So like from up to here, down, all over that corner, and then sort of just back to there. And it's just this oval. So I can get that done in like a day or so. Which will be good. And then we'll be done with this finally. Yeah, just to give y'all a little tour of the map before we end. Let me go to complementary shaders real quick. Also slash time, set day instead of morning. I think. There you go. So right over there was swamp, not swamp, Pale Garden. We enter into a swamp biome, which gets made. There's an outpost area, huge crystal-like structure. We have these ruins. So as you go through these biomes, they all feel different, right? It's like this one is still like condensed in certain areas, so it has a bit more like opening, feel more of that like wetness and like humid area. And then that slowly transitions into one of the old biomes that needs to get like an update, which is the like just dark oak or just like spruce forest. So like you see here, it's very barren. It's open. This is how the map originally was. So we're trying to like add a bit of complexity between each of them. And then we enter into one of the towns, which has been ruined and destroyed. Which we have here. And like the whole idea is mobs will spawn. Think like a zombie apocalypse almost in a way, where you have like 20 or 30 minutes to go in, find a chest, and you do the interior of this. I think this building just got added. But like find a chest. When you open it, there'll be random items in it that are a different rarity. Grab it, deal with some mobs, run out. And so we've been adding it. So this is like one of the towns. You follow the road up to here. You got a little gas station area. And this will eventually, you got like another outpost, hit one of the walls. So here's like a decayed area that has not, that like you can't go past because you get radiation poisoning. Final piece on the big skull. Yippee! Yeah, Shauna's working on a big skull for one of the biomes. You got like a sand beach area, which we can add stuff to later. You got a pillager outpost design. You got these cargo ships that you can actually get to, which do have stuff like in the ship, and like you can search through and loot and whatnot. Put a shulker inside it for fun. Sure. On this map, the water's cold, so you start getting frostbite after if you swim in it too long. So there's this structure here. We revamped this. So we did this whole, we redid this entire bridge. We actually didn't make it feel like flat ground level. And then we went through the bridge, re-added some structures and everything there. Redid, this was one of our starting ones for the revamp, was a like little birch biome area. I'll see myself out. And then they've been slowly like adding more structures and designs and redoing different parts of like the harbor, the vault. Not so much down here has been changed. You kind of just did a whole big update in the northern area to make it a bit more difficult. But you have like a wrecked ship over here. You have sort of like broken, corrupted area where like things are starting to break. This goes down the void. Like that, like this literally is just the void down there. So starting to like put pieces together. We then hit the border on this side. And then what we've added, one of the massive things, was Jay and Kiro did this big, massive excavation site drill. And so we've went through, added all a bunch of chests and such to like play through. It's really cool. There's a lot of cool little like gimmicks and such. Like I think down here there's like lava, and then in one of the sections up here there's like little golem minions that have like a ray gun, like a frost beam. I added up here one of the chests. So basically, if you make your way up to the actual scaffolding portion of this, and you can get up here, and then we climb up to here. If you jump around and you start making your way up to here, I added a little bit of parkour. So it's somewhat difficult. It's not too difficult, but you basically have to be on the edge of this block and then Neo onto this player head, jump to this wall portion, jump to here, then to here. And then you can get all the way up to the extraction point of having two shulkers, which would usually have really good loot up here. So, but there's loot scattered everywhere. Like there's a shulker there. There's some shulkers, I think, down there with some chests. There's some chests looted everywhere all around this map. Then we have the Hydro Dam, which is over here. And then we got this like birch forest design. And then we come up to what I initially started building, which was an underground or an effect give Boss Regret Night Vision Infinite, which is a underwater lab. And so there's going to be a lot of high tier loot in this area of this run-down abandoned laboratory. So beyond these walls here. So / effect clear. And this entire thing, you also are going to be able to get like a component. I need to finish building in here, but automation stuff for the game and whatnot. So really cool design. And it was super fun to build this. So I built this. One way, one went out. How long is the last stream? Not too long. I'm just giving a little tour to everyone that just showed up. And then I'm going to call it that. We redid the airport, kind of updated it, put a destroyed plane there. We have the Sky Islands, kind of attributed to Skyblock Kingdom in a way. But you can get up to here via like with that, or launch pads and such, which you can get a loot from here. Then, hold on, I think I missed something. Yeah, right around here is a meteorite where you'll be able to mine resources around here. So, there's this. And we come back here, and then we get back to the Pale Garden. So, there's also, I forgot to mention, that was all the outer edges. Towards the center of the map, you start seeing different little structures up here, but towards the center is the big city, which has a lot of different, like, it's the central point of the map that you can, like, fight in and, like, gather resources and try to evac out. So, yeah. This is Extraction. It's been really, really fun. I think at one point in time, Lagundo's gonna send out a message into a bunch of the vampire cast to see if anyone wants to one day make a little mini Oakhurst, because he got permission to, and we're gonna do a little like tribute to vampires and do a little mini Oakhurst build somewhere on the map. So that'll be fun. But let me fly over here. A spot that I need to start doing. Let me fix this. And we are going to call it there. We are going to finish stream with something that some of you may know, some of you don't. Probably near the parallel forest, yeah. Ugh. But it is now time to finish stream with something that we like to call the sellout bell. AKA, this is Technoblade's sellout bell that we've been continuing the tradition of sellout bell, but a little bit differently. So here at the end of stream, we will. Oh, I just want to turn off shaders just for frames. Slash game mode survival and slash time set day. So here, for those who don't know, this is the sellout bell. Basically, what we do here is we rave for about 3 minutes of just chanting bell and one of us in chat. It is not a requirement. You don't have to gift subs or bits or whatever. I appreciate it if you do, but like the main thing is just to have fun and continue tradition. And we do that by the end of stream. So I'm going to do the whole Twitch Prime spiel. If you have Twitch Prime and you want to use it here, perfect. If you want to give bits and subs, wonderful, but you do not have to. It's entirely just for fun. We were in this world of shit as it was. It definitely was. But with that being said, chat, I want to see y'all get ready because it is now time to end stream with the sellout bell. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the sellout bell. You know what that means? If you have a Twitch Prime sub, if you have an Amazon Prime, that means you have a Twitch Prime sub, which means you have a free sub that you can give to any one of your favorite Twitch streamers. It can be me, it can be Cleo, it can be Lagundo, it can be Avid, it can be whoever you want, but make sure you use that Prime sub, chat, because it's a free money you already paid for. But with that being said, I want to see you all be spamming bell, I want to see you all be spamming one of us, because it's now time to rave for the sellout bell. Bell, 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 bell. Nameless, thank you for the community gifted sub. I appreciate that. But chat, I want to see y'all be spamming bell. I want to see y'all be spamming one of us. I want to see y'all be spamming and having fun and hyping up this moment before we end stream, because it is time for the sellout bell. One of us. 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 Bell, 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 bell. Bell, 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 bell. One of us. 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 Chat, you have a little over halfway. We're a little over halfway, chat. I want to see y'all be spamming bell. I want to see y'all be spamming one of us. It is time for the sellout bell. And Richard Plays, thank you for the 3 community gifted. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Bell, 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 bell. One of us. One of us. One of us. One of us. One of us, one of us, one of us, one of us. Vampire still thank you for the follow. Bell, 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 bell. Chat, you got 1 more minute. 60 seconds, chat. 60 seconds. I want to see y'all be spamming bell on one of us. You only got 60 seconds left. Bell, 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 bell. Whew. And there we go. It's always fun to do bell at the end of stream. And sometimes between streams as well, whenever we have a fun little chance to do it multiple times throughout stream. But my goodness, chat. What I join into? The ending of stream. Sellout Bell. Technoblade Sellout Bell, where we just rave and chant Bell and One of Us. And have fun. I was originally the whole time. Yeah, it goes from 0 to 100 really quickly. Yes, my birthday is next month. All right, now yes. Basically, at the end of stream, for those who don't know, we sometimes do it between during stream, but that's only for doing stuff that allows us to do that. But at the end of every stream, we kind of just give tribute to Technoblade by continuing the Sellout Bell, where we just rave and have fun, and chat spams Bell. I chant Bell. We chant One of Us. We sell out, and it's all just for fun. And if people follow, give bits, donate, do all that, I appreciate it, but it's not entirely guaranteed, and it's not necessary. It is just a fun way to just continue Technoblade's tradition. But with that being said, chat, I hope you all enjoyed today's stream. We're going to raid into someone, and we're going to call it there for today. So let's see who we want to raid into. Also, thank you, chat, for the level 2 hype train. I don't think any other vampires are on, because I would have continued the vampire train from going from Abbott to Cleo to me, but I don't know if there are any other vampires on. Doesn't look like it. Pow train? Pow train. True, we could continue on Pow. How much time does Forsey still have? Because I remember last time he was at like 2. How is he on 29 hours? Yeah, that's crazy. All right, well, we're going to raid into Shan, though, because Shan also started a subathon, and it's called a move-a-thon, because Shan did just move, and it's day 1, so we're going to raid into Chandrea. So, that's who we're going to raid into, chat. Got up to 48, that's crazy. Anyways, though, chat, we're going to raid into Shan, because Shan also just started a subathon, because Shan just moved, so we're going to raid into them. Join on the raid, chat. You can leave right on after if you need to. But thank you all again for hanging out with me today. You all have been awesome, amazing, and wonderful. And I will see you all on tomorrow. Actually, not Wednesday. Tomorrow, with an earlier stream of me, some vampires, and some friends playing Blood on the Clock Tower. But as always, chat, abolish your regret, and I will see you all next time.